Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the second game of tonight. lbdutchboy versus Arneej. Two Sector 1 players facing each other. And, well, actually both banning a druid as well. So they do have a lot of synergy in that team, I think.
Well, I'm pretty sure that lbdutchboy is not boot camping at Arneej's place this time. Because Arneej lives quite far away for lbdutchboy, who lives in Friesland, where, well, Arneej lives in Belgium.
And lbdutchboy also has exams, right?
And they have a very different lineup actually, because they play all three different classes. So Paladin, Mage, and Rogue for Arneej, while lbdutchboy plays with Warrior, Shaman, and Hunter.
Well, his starting hand from Arneej, though, absolutely disastrous.
Wow, this is so bad.
Oh my god.
But it's also really bad for lbdutchboy though. Like he certainly has like 4 1-drops and then probably some 6 2-drops as well, and he got none of them.
Yeah.
And it just continues on. I feel his pain. Arneej must be like, Control Hunter?
Yep, and there comes a coin. It will be a kill command already. Just to get rid of the 2-3, which is quite a hefty investment.
I like it though, because if you play the animal companion here, and it is a Hafar, then you just lose it right away, and I'd rather lose the kill command in this case.
Right, and there comes RNG. What will it be? It will be a Leok.
That's fine, in this case. Unless there's, of course, a true silver champion, but there is not. So he can clear the Leok this turn, and I'm pretty sure he will. Because of that Valfin top deck, which buffs the other Murloc to 3 attack, and together with the dude, that's 4, and 4 is enough to clear the Leok.
Well played.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see the Direwolf here. Never mind. He might play the Houndmaster just because it represents more power and it can clear the board. Another Valfin Inquisitor, so just expect a lot of dudes here. Like Hero Power, Valfin, Hero Power. That's 5 mana. 5 mana is fine because the more dudes you have, the higher the chance that you can play the Spike Ridge Steed next turn. And from there on, you just win. It's so hard to deal with that as Hunter.
Yep, and Arneej is actually going over his faults. Of course, you don't want to sink in the consecration just yet, as it's not really the most worth thing.
So what went wrong here in this game for the Hunter? They both had no early game, but for the Paladin, which who is a control deck, that's no problem really. Because as I said, if you can just Hero Power to turn 8, then you're happy. And that's not really a control deck. Like this deck is way more aggressive than the version that Danner was playing. However, lbdutchboy's deck is way more aggressive than the Paladin deck in this case. So he was at a larger disadvantage than Arneej was for sure.
Wait, like with your dudes right now, you can actually do 15 damage to lbdutchboy.
Pretty much, and then Consec for 5 more.
Oh my god.
Wait, if you just Elder Peacekeeper it and then trade dudes, then you don't care.
That's so rude. I love it. It's insane.
I love that play actually. Like Peacekeeper, Hero Power, just trade all your minions. Yeah, you don't need to contact this turn. You can always contact next. But you can, like, your 1-3 is actually survive because it only has 1 attack.
Yeah.
I hope Arneej sees it because it's such a funny play. Of course, he could go for the boring play and just play Spike Ridge Steed, which is also correct, but I like the other piece.
You can still go in for your 1-1s in, right? Like 2 of them. Could. Because it's way more damage than going phase, but actually decides not to, as the 8-8 Celeste, to trade into the 3-3. But plus...
Yeah, it's not like the Hydra doesn't exist anymore next turn.
And, well, a lot of damage to the face, Kappa only 4.
Not even the worst roll here with the Alley Cat. He can play the Charger, the Tundra Rhino, together with the Alley Cat, and clear the 3-3 with that. And then clear the 2-6 that comes from it with the 8-8. And here you see how the Elder Peacekeeper was probably the better play anyway.
Well, actually, True Silver Champion being picked up, so that's quite an easy trade on the Rhino. You can combo it with the Elder Peacekeeper.
You could Elder Peacekeeper Consecrate here.
Yeah, you can also do that.
I like it more.
But he's considering all options, of course.
Yeah, probably going to play Spike Red Steed again. Because why not?
Well, it's
just be boring.
It's way more fun to do like ridiculous amount of damage with his own minion.
Exactly. Oh, and here he might go for it. Please, Arneej, please.
Yes. Now I'm happy.
Okay, so True Silver instead of the Consecration. Me no like, but sure.
If he wants to do it, it's fine.
What would you need a Consecration for? Yeah, there is a lot of small minions coming because you haven't seen any of them, but you have board control anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he can deal sizable chunks of damage. So I always like that. And there comes the True Silver Champion, goes into the 2-2, and now a lot of damage to lbdutchboy.
And he should go face with the 1-1 because in any other way he can trade the Hydra away in the 3-3, but now he can't. He has to kill command his own Hydra, which is way too expensive.
And even then you still take 3 more face damage.
Yup, and he decides that it's enough, and Arneej Paladin gets a win on the board.
That was a nice rhyme. He should become a rapper.
Wait. Where did that rhyme?
Paladin win.
Oh, right, yeah, sure.
Very close to each other, but
I'm the best rapper ever, not even seeing my own rhymes.
Pure nature. But that means that Arneej's Paladin is out of the equation. Still has a Mage and Rogue left. Hopefully, well, luckily for him, lbdutchboy does not run a Mage, so he can't repeat what he did and the Global Games and throw in his quest to a counterspell. Which was quite saddening to see, but it happens to the best of us.
But this is even worse for lbdutchboy. So he's running Hungry Crabs, and he's running that for the matchup that we just saw, but he didn't get them. If he got the Hungry Crab in his starting hand, then that matchup would have been way different. And I'm pretty sure that lbdutchboy would have won it. But now the Hungry Crab is a pretty dead 1-drop. It's just a 1-2 beast, which is still not that bad in Hunter, but it's not that good either. And this is a great starting hand for Arneej.
Ooh, wow.
However, it's also a great starting hand for lbdutchboy, so...
That's quite nice for a change. People having good starting hands, we're not used to that.
No, we're not.
And the Mana Worm is unfortunately going to die with that Dire Wolf as well.
Now, I'd like to see the other dude here, the Adept. What's it called again? Crackling Razor Maw. Because if you get the +3 attack, Poisonous, or +1/+1...
You can trade only one.
You can trade it better. And it's like 3 options, so...
So many possibilities. But Arneej is not out of the field yet. Gets an Arcanologist, gets his second Ice Block. It's really optimal.
This Hunter deck though, like running all the crabs.
And what will it be?
If you got Poisonous last turn, it would have been fine.
Yeah. Would you then call a misplay? Or not?
Yeah.
Because it's a gamble.
It is a gamble, but it's a gamble with a really high chance of working.
Yeah. Like there's 2 possibilities that work out for you, so why not?
Okay, so we see 2 Ice Blocks in the hand of Arneej. So this is just the by now classic control mage with the Medivh, with the Alexstrasza, and as in good fashion, as we saw Vortex doing as well, drawing all his late game in the early stages of the game. He only needs 1 more portal and then he has everything. Oh, he runs a Pyroblast as well, I think. But back to the game. I think Frostbolt here on the 4-2 and then trade in a 2-2 is fine.
Yeah, but he's keeping us waiting again. Arneej does like to go over his options. But we'll see. What will it be? A rope is in the screen right now. Slowly burning away. Just a little Twitch of mine. It's so weird to see that rope, like, sparking. Which rope does that? Blizzard, please.
This rope, apparently. Well, if you have fireworks, then the rope does it as well, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like this.
Depends on the kind of fireworks, I guess.
Yeah, but well, lbdutchboy still having some board, and considering the the anti-pirate crap.
This is well, at this moment you would think that it's a pretty good position for lbdutchboy. He's in control of the board, he can play more minions, he can curve nicely, but because Arneej has a more late game focused deck and he has 2 ice blocks, I don't see the hunter winning this, to be honest. There's enough removal to stall for another 4 turns, I'd say, and then you can just Alex and win. But the Hydra might be a problem.
Time moves quickly.
Yeah.
Also, he should attack first with the 4-2 because he will lose the buff if he attacks here.
Feels bad, man. Misplay.
Yep,
Missed
misplay.
1 damage, and later on in the game he will be 1 damage of lethal. I can already predict.
Did he? Oh no, never mind. He already attacked with it.
Oh,
I was just not paying attention.
Oh wow, we were both not paying attention. Ripped.
So bad. You should read
Sorry,
the chat
stream.
less.
Yes. Just
Should
people
I?
are talking to me, so I have to. But what would you play if you're Arneej? Of course, go for the Keble Courier to see if you can actually get a decent card to help you out.
So if you're Arneej, you're like, okay, this is quite a large board. I should probably deal with this. So you just do that. You just crossbow thing, remove as much damage as possible, and now there's only 4 damage left. But the Bittertide Hydra might pose a problem. The red pack picked up also a pesky card to deal with. However, it's only 2 attacks, so not too scary. That's not the card you're looking for. I guess Keble Courier will come out here. Looking for the polymorph. That's not a polymorph.
Well, it is a Pyroblast.
It's a Priest of the Feast, to be honest. Like, Pyroblasts are fun, but too slow. And healing, together with the coin still in hand and the ice block still in hand, that might be very important later in the game. And yeah, he picks up the Priest of the Feast here.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
And there it goes, another 3 damage to the face. And 3 damage on the Bittertide Hydra. One of the most emo cards around, if I am allowed to say so. And
And I see that you're experiencing some black and white Hearthstone at the moment, and I hope you're enjoying it.
that was 10 minutes ago, but
Yeah, but, like-
hopefully, yes, fix it.
It's probably still black and white now. Well, not anymore.
I believe in our production.
You have more faith than I do. I like our prediction guy, but
Well, I have to play Counter-Strike a lot, so I'm always saying like, well, if you don't believe in yourself, then there's no reason to. And actually, a semi-clear comes out. Will it clear it completely? Would you say?
You don't really care about the minion, but you do care about the fact that your death rattle can be procced. But no, you're just a laser. I agree. You don't care about the minion at all.
Minions in 2017, a little. But yeah, pick up another secret. Is there anything that can help him? Well, there is an ice or the.
A coin
Yeah.
violence portal into a 7-8 taunt would be pretty good.
That would be the most
Not even
fortunate
kidding.
play.
However, even if he deals with the 8-5 and the 2 attack minion, there's still 6 attack on the board. Together with the hero power is 8. So the block will get popped. And he's still 2 turns away from the Alexstrasza turn. Or 3 even. Which is too much. So, and again, if he coins here, then he doesn't have that coin for Priest of the Feast. This is a
Yeah,
very tough situation for
And
Arneej.
you also want to have the violence portal for Medivh, so like there's so many things you can throw in just to clear some stuff, but it's also like you don't want it to.
Time runs out on me.
And time's also running out, so he actually has to decide quite soon. And time will tell. Goes for the priest of the feast or not.
Interesting.
Pinks, priest, and with a coin as well.
Yeah, he's definitely going to coin, and he hopes his priest of the feast survives.
No,
Not
he hasn't
what?
coined.
Okay. So the Hydra has to go face to proc him. He thought about this actually. There's only 5 damage on board if you don't count the Hydra. So the Hydra won't be able to trade into the 3/6.
Ah,
And if he trades, then he can't proc the block. So this is actually a really good play by Arne that I didn't see.
that is indeed interesting. Like, what would you do if you're lbdutchboy right now? How would you go about this? Would you still do some damage to the face? Or what would you trade it away?
I'd probably trade the 8/5 Hydra into the 3/6 and then just put him on 2 HP with the hero power and the 2 attack minions, and then trade the 2/1 away as well if you're at it. Because then you have him on. If you have him on 2 HP, you can just hero power every turn, and that should be enough.
Yep, and there comes damage. Decides to trade in for one very nice wolf. Procs it as well.
Procs it instead of killing the priest of the feast. Interesting.
Well, like, he still has board control. So
Yes, but
like
the priest of the feast heals really quickly actually.
yeah, he has 2 cards with what he can heal as well, and he can also get another secret from his archaeologist. So then you have 12 healed. No, yes, no, 9 healed.
What to do?
Counting times. So many
So,
things.
Maybe Sorcerer's Apprentice, coin Portal here, then you put yourself on 8 and the board is only 7, including the hero power, so you survive another turn at least. It's something.
You're getting there.
I wonder.
That is the intention.
Like this, so.
Oh, it actually goes for the violence portal.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh yeah.
Runs out on me.
You don't need the ice block this turn because there's not a large chance that you die here. And that's a
Oh,
that's
wow.
brilliant for Arne. That's one of the best drops he could have gotten, and it might actually be the best drop he could have gotten. That's insane because now it almost guarantees that the ice block won't get procced next turn because it does like 6 damage. Ah, this is so good. I think this won Arne the game.
And well, we do see lbdutchboy like, what? How did it just happen? Just get a scavenging hyena, but it's quite late. You want to buff that as soon as possible.
lbdutchboy must feel really sad right now, but don't just think that it's only luck here. The play that led up to this by Arne was really good, really well thought out. lbdutchboy had to choose between proccing the block or killing the priest of the feast, and I thought killing the priest of the feast was better than proccing the block. lbdutchboy thought otherwise and is now paying the price for that.
Yeah, but well, Arne has to trade in quite a lot to kill that hyena now, if he decides to do so. So yeah, he has to trade in at least 2 minions, which is quite hefty. I don't think he has another option.
I'm not entirely sure if Arne still has more secrets in his deck. I don't think so, because he drew 2 ice blocks, but there might be another ice barrier in his deck.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
it
he
would be
probably
really
has one.
good
At
to play
least one.
Archaeologist here. I don't know, I'm not sure.
We'll see. He is quite reluctant to throw it up though, so that might be an indication.
Yeah. Anyway, you're going to clear the 8/5 for sure, because it's too scary. Okay, so he doesn't have any more secrets in his deck, because he's playing Medivh.
He gets the weapon from which we still don't know how to pronounce it, which is unfortunate.
Chess.
Yes. Yes, you have the same problem every time. And,
A chess.
He does use
He
one
uses
charge.
the attack wave. I like it a lot because now the 2-1 can get cleared together with the minion. And this
Well,
is
he actually
just...
keeps the minion by using his weapon and his face, of course.
Yeah, but
He is pressing, but the problem
Arneej
is
is
there's
on
still
10
an ice
HP.
block.
He still has an ice block in his hand. There is no way he
Alex
will lose
Strauss
from
as
this
well,
point on.
so
Yep, he'll... Looks like he's going to Alex next turn.
yeah, it's also quite logical that he attacks with the weapon because he already used both of his opponent's portals.
You know what I like here? Alex on yourself. There's no way you will die next turn, and then you can put him on 15, and the 8-8 and the 7-7 together is 15 damage.
He
It's a
actually
guaranteed lethal setup.
played somewhat safe. Gets a
Decides to go wide on the board, play the ice block. You're not going to die anyway this turn, and indeed there is no more secrets in the deck of Arneej. And even that card is not going to save him, even though it does proc the block. So if he's not dead next turn, that's the wrong order, matey. Huh? Oh no, I'm retarded. I'm like, yeah, he can hear him twice. That's what my head said, but that's wrong, of course.
But it was still a lethal setup
it's
by
not.
Arneej. So yeah, that's actually a 2-0 lead for Arneej right now. In my notes quite quickly. He only has Rogue left. A deck. I think he probably still has the same deck which he used in the global games, which was the Quest Rogue. I'm curious if he actually still used it, or he actually just used his mind games and switched to another one. We never know. And no, it's the Quest Rogue. So nothing special and hypey here. Wait, was he? No, he was actually playing Warrior. I'm mistaken. He threw in his Warrior quest.
So now the time for lbdutchboy to win this series has come. He's favored in this matchup, and it's looking bad for him already, to be honest. Like, he has 2 bounces in his hand. So next turn he can just hero power, and the turn after he can play the South Sea Deckhand together with the Ancient Brewmaster. After that he can play South Sea Deckhand together with the Shadow Step, and that's a brilliant pickup as well. Deep
Wow.
backstab, clearing the 2-2, it can't be adapted then.
Can't buff anything as well, so feels
Arneej is
bad.
playing the anti-aggro rogue, by the way. Like, it's still weak to aggro, but it's not as weak as some other versions, because you play backstabs in it, and you kinda give up some chance to get that really early quest done.
Yeah, and well, Arneej is actually considering a lot of options, and he's still not quite sure what he's actually gonna go for, even though my lovely co-caster Livian has just explained it all to you.
I'm not entirely sure what Arneej is thinking about.
He's playing the mind game. Oh, I have so little options. I don't know what to do.
Here, have a backstab. Because F you.
And there does come a adapt this time on a lovely little cat, which gets 2-2, so it's now a roaring little lion, even though it's a tiger. But who knows?
That's also a card that you want to bounce, actually. So we might see the South Sea Deckhand here, just to clear, and then Firefly coin Youthful Brewmaster.
Which you then also Shadow Step and Slayer.
Well, maybe you don't even Firefly coin Brewmaster here. Maybe you just Hero Power again. That's the slower option, but not one I dislike.
Plus he also gets patches, so that does help him clear the 2-2 if he decides to go to do that with his weapon as well.
Yeah, the only problem here is, of course, that there's still a 1-1 alive, and you still have a Houndmaster to fear. But we know that there's no Houndmaster in the hand of lbdutchboy.
I must choose soon.
Thinking of Shadow Stepping the 1-2. Yup, decides to do it. More Flame Elementals next turn. Feels good, man.
Never enough elementals, and there comes his second. And another one, and another one, and another one.
Interesting play by Arneej. He's just trying to win on board.
Yeah, well, if it works, it works. But lbdutchboy has some cards to throw on himself as well. There's an igneous elemental, which will help give you more fire elementals, but then it has to die first as well.
Yeah, it's a good situation for Arneej, I'd say, because he's so high on HP still. He can just play it slow if he wants to. And yeah, that's a guaranteed 2 more flame elementals. So you trade the 1/2, then you hope the igneous elemental gets hit by this. Oh, that's... Yeah, he just wants to preserve his board.
Yeah, actually has a flame elemental to take the damage there, unfortunately. But it doesn't really matter as he has the igneous. But then, of course, he now wants to keep the Brewmaster for a bounce on his Stone Tusk Boar or South Sea Deckhand when he does finish his quest for tons of damage.
This is a really good pickup for lbdutchboy. Decides not to play it maybe, but that would be a mistake in my opinion.
Yeah, well, like the problem is that then the igneous elemental can run into the red pack.
Yeah,
so that would mean that he actually instantly gets his quest done. Well, he still has 1 more turn to wait as he did not pick up prep this turn. So he does draw with the Novus Engineer, most likely.
I hope you like my invention.
But
And there's the Stone Tusk Boar.
I don't think you can win this game by playing passively, being lbdutchboy. I think you have to pressure, and if you make the red pack for attack, and then it has it spawns 4 rats, and even if he doesn't kill it, then you can just play the charger next turn and trade again, and then have 4 rats with charge, which is way better. And now you're just sacrificing your 2/5, and you don't even put on that much pressure. So that's why I thought the Houndmaster would have been better.
Well, yeah, like he's probably just too scared of the quest. Yeah, it's like the main issue for him now. And Arneej actually sacrifices 1 of his boars to see what will happen now. The Houndmaster will, of course, buff 1 of those pesky rats.
Yeah, and here we go. Finally going face. He has the kill command, so maybe there's still a chance for him.
Yeah, and well, actually, Arneej can't play his quest unless he gets prep right. Or Shadow Step. He has to get Shadow Step or prep, and then he can play his quest next turn. So he still has to throw up 2 of his flame elementals, which is for him unfortunate. And happy times for lbdutchboy.
But is it enough happy times? That's the real question.
Yeah, that is indeed the question. lbdutchboy is still thinking, should I clear something, should I not? And he does actually clear the igneous elemental, so it cannot hit up the red, which will then would then be easily cleared, and there is no prep or Shadow Step.
No elemental was played last turn, so the Tolfir Stone Shaper will not activate and will not get taunt or a Divine Shield.
Feels bad, man. When he was considering throwing up his Brewmaster for that extra draw. What would you do here? Would you now get another draw with the Brewmaster and Novus Engineer and throw up your Flame Elementals just so you can play the quest next turn? Or
You might
is that
just-
too hefty?
You might just vanish.
Alright. Yeah.
But the problem is that you still can't play your, what's it called? Tolfir Stone
Tolfir,
Shaper next turn then. But it's something, because then next turn you have 2 5/5s and he doesn't do any damage to you. Or at least not too much, like 2. Which means you're probably not dead after next turn. But it
Hopefully.
will be really close.
When he will go for the Brewmaster and just throws up the naked Tolfir. Well, naked, without
So
the
yeah.
Battle Cry.
Oh, that's a very good pickup. This is the way to win this game.
Keeps the tempo in, and the enemy is off the board.
Because you push 12 damage now, which means your opponent is on 6. And he needs either a taunt. No, he just needs a taunt to survive then. But you already saw that his Tolfir Stone Shaper wasn't active, so no taunt for him.
Yep, and there comes a bit more damage from LB Dutch Boy. Throws on the bow as well, just to add in that free maul. And tons of pressure. Would you now also use the kill command already, or oh wait, you
That's
can't.
kind of
Haha,
difficult with 2 mana.
Get memed. But now the quest will come out from Arneej. We'll be able to clear 2 guys.
He won't
He, of
play the
course,
quest
does-
this turn.
No.
No, because he needs to freeze.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he has to freeze face,
He
otherwise
needs to
he's
freeze
ripped.
the face. And he kind of should know that, because he played. Oh, this is devastating. But he
Yeah, but he
should have
doesn't
known
know
this because
there's-
those 2 cards, or at least the left one, has been in LB Dutch Boy's hand for ages.
Yeah. So the chances are that kill command would be there.
Yeah,
Twice.
really large chance, to be honest. But
So that's unfortunate for Arneej, but actually puts LB Dutch Boy on the scoreboard. 2-1 now in the advantage for Arneej still.
yeah, at the
and-
beginning of this game, I told you that this will be the comeback for LB Dutch Boy. Like, if he has more aggressive attacks, then it will be really good for him versus the rogue. And here we see what kind of warrior he's playing, and he is playing the pirate warrior, which is almost a free win versus rogue.
Yar. It indeed
Jar
is.
indeed.
And well, Arneej gets 2 catches and ferrymans, which aren't really the best to start off with.
And it's really surprising to me, kinda, that Arneej is playing the rogue. Well, he's playing. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what mind games went on here. So Arneej is playing anti-control, and control is kind of what we expected in response to the aggro of last week. But
Patch is being
anti-control
drawn though.
gets countered by aggro, and the patches draw is really bad as well, of course. Not as bad in this deck as in others, but
It's still unfortunate.
yeah. The
And
Glacial
there,
Shard might be MVP this game though. Glacial Shard can fix very many problems because it consistently removes like 3 or 4 damage from the Pirate Warrior, and that's insanely strong. So we'll probably see Glacial Shard on the Frothing next turn, together with the Gadgets and Ferryman.
and actually backstab being picked up as well, but that won't do. Well, you can actually clear the frothing with that, which you then invest heavily. You do take some face damage, as you have
I'd
to
rather just
backstab
freeze it.
first. Yeah, just get rid of that problem first, but then it will get
Start your
stronger.
combo, to be honest. Find more, because you can backstab and hit next turn as well. However,
that's
of course, it will have grown more, so...
Yeah, like
Stick
that's
with it.
my main issue.
You can backstab and trade the ferryman, I guess. Oh, playing Ignis Elemental. Okay, interesting.
And backstab clears the patches.
No. He's going to be able to trade the Ignis Elemental into the Frothing next turn. However, we can see that there's a taunt in the way next turn.
That's unfortunate. For him at least.
For him, yeah. Not so much for LB Dutch Boy. He will probably be pretty happy.
He actually goes for a second frothing maybe because he's offering over that. Which would
He's
be
like, okay, you will trade anyway next turn, so it's good for me if I can buff my other Frothing with this.
indeed. And well, Arneej now has a tough choice to make. What will he throw up? Will he? Well, he can clear one and freeze another and combo back that glacial shard as well.
You would just look at the HP of Arneej already down 10 HP, and it's not going to get better anytime soon.
Feels bad, man, for him, but we'll see. He still is in the lead with a 2-1 scoreline, so he does still have a shaman to clear if LB Dutch Boy wins this. Who would you favor then, Rogue or Shaman?
It really depends on the Shaman list. If it's the same list that Danner's playing, which it probably isn't, but then the Rogue would be favored. If it's a more aggressive list, like more mid-rangey, then maybe 50-50, but probably still slightly a Rogue favorite. If it's a really aggressive list, then it's Shaman favorite for sure.
And there comes the glacial shard, and it will be returned. So the play we talked about earlier.
Yep.
is being put into works, or is he actually going to? Oh, he bounces one of his flame elementals.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I want to get the quest. I have 2 flame elementals. This is the 3rd with the bounce. So there's a rather good chance that I can
Grab another bounce.
grab
next turn.
another flame elemental or a bounce, and then I'm done.
And there comes the Corcoran Elite, just to get rid
Not
of
the
that.
Smorkron Elite this time. Trades his minion. Oh, and there's the 2nd Igneous Elemental, and that's enough flame elementals for sure, but is it in time? Like, we also see the Leroy Jenkins in the hand of LB Dutchboy. So together that's already 17 damage, and kind of removes 2 damage here, but is that enough?
Oh, heroic strike as well, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite strong. She then set up this turn with a Dread Corsair, with a Butzel Raider maybe?
I think you Heroic Strike here together with the Dread Corsair, because then next turn you can play Leroy, and otherwise you won't have the mana to do that.
X marks the spot.
But he decides against it.
Blood and
He listens to the man
Yeah,
with the legend, Dolberbot, which surely we can't advise to anyone, but he still does so.
And I didn't even think of the Vanish in the hand of Arneej, which is the only option now, by the way.
Yeah, well then he does have his quest as well, for next turn. Because of the Flame Elemental being popped back into his hand. But yeah, then again, next turn, LB Dutchboy still has at least 11 damage, so 1 off.
No, he doesn't, because he doesn't have the mana for it. That's why I would have liked to see Heroic Strike last turn.
Oh yeah, of course. I have very much issues with counting today, as I did the counting
Yeah,
for school
Oh, wow.
today already, so my brain is already completely bumped out on that kind of stuff. And there comes the Vanish, which means that
Vanish.
frothing is just
Action.
Oh god, please. I beg. Oh, with a Dread Corsair as well. That makes 9 in total.
I wouldn't like to see the Leroy here. I like to see the captain here together with the South Sea Deckhand and the Bloodsail Raider. Because next turn you do have 7 mana, which is enough for the Heroic Strike and the Leroy. You don't
Yeah,
even have to attack with your weapon this turn.
And is there anything Arneej can actually do to stop this? Is there anything in his deck?
No. I don't think so, to be honest.
X marks the
Alright.
spot.
Decides not to play the South Sea Captain, which is fine as well, because if you put him on 10 and you have 10 burst in hand, then you should win next turn.
Seems logical to me.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But he's still hovering. Is he going to be greedy for the damage? 'Cause you have to maximize your damage output to maximize the pain inflicted upon your enemy.
Wow, you have such a way with words.
I try to sometimes, and there comes the frothing, does 2 damage, brings him down to 10. And a Mimic Pot, what will he mimic? Because he has to mimic something to stay
I think
alive.
he'll mimic the concede button, so he has to.
So he actually forfeits the game already, because there's only 2 decks, or 2 clauses left for LB Dutchboy, including this one, of course.
So many options.
He's considering, he's thinking. Is there anything that can save me?
Yeah, like, is there anything that can save him? I guess there is. Like, if he draws the Glacial Shard here, then that's enough.
Well, he
Enough.
can draw twice, but can't play anything else unless he gets prep and something magical. Well, there's the prep. And what's gonna be the magical
What's the
part?
magical part? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there's 5, 7, 8 damage on board. So Arneej is probably thinking, well, if I'm not dead this turn, then I can win. If there's no direct damage in the hand of LB Dutchboy, and I know that chance almost 0, but if there isn't, then I can still win this game. And there is a lot of damage in the hand of LB Dutchboy.
Why doesn't he just throw out the Leroy just for the extra style points, you know? That's how I would have played it.
I don't like
means-
playing Leroy there because the animation is so long, spawning the whelps and stuff. I actually
It's the
get
BM
it.
part, right? Okay, it's his teammate, so he
Yeah,
shouldn't
exactly.
really. But we do now see his 2-2, all squared up once again. And shame on the only class left for LB Dutch Boy versus the Rogue of Arne.
It's not a very quick shaman, it seems like. I see a Mana Tide, I see a Bloodlust, so this might be a tricky matchup for LB Dutch Boy. Which is interesting, because if you play aggro, I say play full aggro, right? The shaman is not a very good aggro deck at the moment. I'd rather have seen a Paladin, to be honest. However, Paladin is kind of weak if the quest rogue runs crabs, but it's a choice you have to make, and I'm not sure about this choice by LB Dutch Boy to bring the shaman.
Well, every deck has its advantages and disadvantages. And maybe LB Dutch Boy is a master of cheese and has some very peculiar things in his shaman.
Well, he has
this
some very
starting hand
peculiar
is-
things in
yeah.
his hand, indeed. As does Arne.
Oh, and
Yeah,
just
this is.
Bloodlust as
I don't like to call games early, but
this should be, in theory.
there is, of course, still a chance for LB Dutch Boy to win this, but it's not too high.
Indeed, and Arne will coin Ignis Elemental so he can deal with some totems if they come across him, and maybe trade into something to get even more Flame Elementals.
This is like second game patches in hand, right, for Arne?
Oh, he also runs a Murloc.
Okay, so this is kind of an aggressive deck, and I guess he just got the top curve of his deck.
See, there's some cheese in it after all, and the Mana Tide totem goes away.
It's a very aggressive deck, apparently. Wow, this deck.
Even more Murlocs and a totem, so that also helps his thing from below.
But it's still a bad position because Arne's deck hand was so good. Not his deck hand, that's the one that's in LB Dutch Boy's hand. Yeah, I think we'll see a thing from below here. Just for the damage output, like 5 damage every turn is pretty good. And you don't want to play Jade Lightning on the face here, that's just not strong enough.
Yeah, but with that thing from below, you do give the quest to Arne already, right? If he gets
Yeah.
1 bounce. He has to get 1 bounce and he has the thing from below. Or the quest, oh, rain, please. But he gets a Mimic Pod. And there's still too much to trade into.
I lost against this deck today. Against this Paladin deck, or this Shaman deck. Because
did
he
it
had
feel?
the Flame Tongue Totem, and that small guy just kept spawning Murlocs every turn next to the Flame Tongue Totem, and I just couldn't deal with it. So annoying.
Oh. Did you cry?
Yeah, but only for like 5 minutes.
Oh, then it's alright.
Yeah, I
As
guess.
long as the Salt Shaker is filled up, everything will be alright. And a Stone to Spore being thrown out by Arne just to get rid of that pesky, bullying Murloc totem.
Exactly, that's what he's trying to get rid of.
Oh, he gets the second one.
Yeah, but does it matter? Is it a totem, by the way? It
It's
is.
a- yeah,
so
it
does
is a totem.
discount your thing from below.
Yeah. Like the problem is also that the Dark Creep is just so beefy. It's annoying. And with that thing from below, you now give another chance to get a bounce to make the quest happen for Arne.
I think LB Dutch Boy is going wide on board here to set up the Bloodlust next turn. He's like, okay, I've got a lot of shit on board right now. You can only clear 1 minion at best. Good luck with the rest.
And actually 2 charges in the hand of Arne. What would you do? Would you throw your Mimic Pod in first to see what you can draw, maybe to make stuff
So
happen?
many
Probably yes. Unless you need the hero power to clear 1 more minion. Which is also a very valid option right
Yeah,
now.
especially with the Bloodlust in LB Dutch Boy's hand.
Exactly, because if you are Arne, you know that he has Bloodlust in hand right now, because there's no reason to play the South Sea Deckhand if he doesn't.
And there's 2 more Flame Elementals for Arne.
Yep, which makes a grand total of 3, where you need 4 for the quest. So, not there yet.
getting closer every day.
Exactly.
It's like seeing your child grow up. They progress so quickly.
So Arneej could clear another 2 minions here, decides to only clear 1. He clears the right one though, because Bloodlust on the 2 attack minion. Oh no, it doesn't matter actually, because he trades a 1/1 away, so Bloodlust still pretty good now.
We can clear quite decently with the Maelstrom. And then maybe a War Leader. Would you do that? Or would you maybe play something else?
Probably yes, War Leader.
Yeah, just get it 1/1.
Like it.
Yes,
You get a new
Dollar
node
Dolls.
anyway.
Feels good, man.
So now you still threaten the Bloodlust, and there's less options for Arneej. But
He
that's
does
the
have
quest.
Vanish.
Yeah, Vanish is good, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to quest or do you want to Vanish? I think Vanish is right now the best option, but then you just delay for 1 more turn and you still don't have your quest.
If you count all the damage on board, there's like 8 on board, plus 18 from the Bloodlust is 26. So lbdutchboy is one of lethal.
But he can still pick up a weapon.
Yeah, but there's also 1 minion going to die if Arneej equips his weapon
Yeah.
this turn and or uses his weapon. He will probably equip a new one though. But even if you have the quest, like, that's not the end yet.
Indeed, you still have to...
Oh, and there's Finja.
Ooh.
Do we see the Bloodlust here or the Finja? I like the Finja, to be honest.
No, he actually
Nope,
goes for the
Bloodlust.
Bloodlust. He's probably banking on not having another big opportunity to play this, and he
How much
knows that
damage
if...
does he... Oh, that's...
Oh yeah, for the Jade Lightning.
Yeah, exactly.
Next
So
turn.
this is lethal setup for next turn.
Yeah, he knows there is no real heal. And that would mean, if Arneej does not pull something out of his wizard hat, that lbdutchboy would have done a reverse sweep and takes a 3-2.
Yeah, so countering the counter.
I wonder.
Or countering the counter, or whatever you want to call it. But
More mind games than we can keep track of.
exactly. And I like it a lot. Like, Rogue gets punished so easily, and even though Quest Rogue is a very strong deck, it is also very weak against aggro. And there's enough decent aggro decks that you can pretty much guarantee a win versus this.
Like, Arneej's like thinking, oh, if I do Vanish now, I actually have him overdrawing, so that might be crucial. But he actually trades a bit away a little bit as well, then vanishes. Of course, not having the knowledge that the Jade Lightning is in the hand of lbdutchboy, which means this game is over, and also this second series. lbdutchboy takes a 3-2 reverse sweep, and let's see how he has been doing so far in the group stage. That brings him to a 1-2 scoreline.
Exactly, because these players both were 0-2, and yeah, lbdutchboy picks up his first win here. So I guess relaxing a bit after the exams is good for your play.
I'm actually just something that just struck me. These group matches have been scheduled ahead of time, so like they can't change it in between. We do have the both 2-0 players playing each other tonight, the both 0-2 players playing each other tonight, and the others are all 1-1.
Exactly.
It's like crazy coincidence. But we will have another game after this. It will be Amicable Mate against Sector 1 Bubblebox to see who will actually go 3-0. And before that, we will have a short break, and we'll be back with you momentarily to see you soon.
See ya.